Now that I've gotten more into art, I wanted to try the 10 art style challenge. At first I was really nervous to try this, but I really wanted to push myself to learning more about why artists do the stuff they do. This ended up being super fun for me, and I might just add a few of these details to my own art style now. I'll be using anime and cartoon styles for this video. Starting off with my art style is just a mix of what I've seen on social media and artists I follow. This is my OC, and I don't have anything for her, like I don't have a name for her or a personality. I'm kind of just building it up little by little as I go. I've been an art kid since I was like 10, and it's because I started watching anime really young, and it made me want to get to know why people draw the way they do. Although once I started growing up, I just had this realization that I don't know if that's such a stable job to continue to draw and stuff, but now I kind of just let go of that and started drawing again, and I've been drawing constantly for a year now, so I've improved a lot, and I think it's just a goal of mine to just be better at art. I really just love this hobby because it's never ending and you can just always learn about something new. The first artist that I looked up to was Bailey J. I don't know if anyone else knows her, but she was my favorite as a kid because all her stuff was super colorful and vibrant. I remember always following her tutorials because I always just trusted her and really loved her pieces of art. This is one of my favorite shows. Even as a kid, I would watch it a lot, but I used to not have Cartoon Network, so I would have to buy the discs for them, like in the library. I drew her like one of the princesses, like maybe Princess Bubblegum or the Pancake Princess, Waffle Princess, I think it was. I really miss when this show was popular because I would just see edits everywhere about them, drawings about them, and now it's kind of like died down, so I'm hoping something overhypes it again because I really want it back. The one episode that traumatized me as a kid was when Finn and Jake found this robot by whistling, and they were trying to make it like their pet or child, and it ended up being really bad. They almost killed that poor little thing, and it just traumatized me as a kid, so I've never went back to rewatch that episode. I'm glad that as a kid I only went through the first season and not the other ones that became all dark and sad. This anime had its claws in me for the first seasons of it, and it was because it barely came out and I was barely going into high school, so I was super hyped up about it, and it just made me want to go to a high school like that, which was unrealistic, but you know, kids can dream. This drawing was kind of more inspired by the manga. I liked the manga art a lot better because it was super detailed, and it gave me a lot more insight on this art style. I always wanted to give my OC a scythe, and so I gave her one from her bow in the back of her hair. I actually stopped watching this anime a while ago because the seasons were coming out fast enough for me, and so I didn't want to wait, so I stopped watching it, but that made me end up just not watching it at all because I forgot the other seasons, what they were about. Now I'm just stuck of not knowing what happened or what's going to happen, but I might go back to rewatching it because it looks pretty interesting and I think it's finished now. I still binge watch this show yearly, monthly, weekly. Like every single day I'm watching at least one episode of this show, and it really sucks because now the show just became too predictable, which I'm trying to stop. This was just like one of the funnest designs I made for this art style challenge because it was just a pony. Like it was not that hard to instill my character, but I didn't know if I wanted her to dress up like Rarity does or keep her with a cutie mark, so I just went with the cutie mark because her dress was too puffy and it took away from the design. Can we seriously just bring back 2D animation? Like, I miss these type of shows having different art styles, and we just need to go back to that. Just like the My Hero Academia drawing, I kind of based this off the manga too because I really liked the anime before the time skip. I think the most prominent thing of this art style is just the big ass eyes and the big ass forehead. Not to be rude, but the author really loves to sexualize the women, and I see it a lot with how they dress, especially during fights. The builds in the show are super crazy, and even the men or anyone who's even remotely fat is just put as like a balloon. It's insane, but he really does know how to make stuff memorable, because I really do remember most of the characters by their body shape, and some of them have like these big ass heads. It's just really weird builds in One Piece, but it makes it really entertaining. I really wish this anime stayed the same art style before the time skip, because the time skip just whitewashed everyone and it just got really stale and boring. Like, I just really don't care about One Piece too much anymore. Like, all I want to do is finish it before it ends, because I just want to know the ending myself and I don't want to hear it from someone else and watch it and already know what's gonna happen. Even though this show had so little episodes, it was such a big impact on my art style. I really loved everything about them. Like, it was such a mix of Monster Highs and Brad styles. Not gonna lie, this challenge just made me want to draw in different styles even more. Like, I just don't want to stick to one, and that's kind of cool for me, because I used to be really scared of changing it into a cartoony type of style, because I've been scared of making it look unrealistic, but that's the whole point of drawing, is being able to be free. This show was perfect by every little detail that they had, and I would trade all Descendants for just one more season of this show. This show has been my biggest inspo for my backgrounds on my drawings, and also just even my room. Like, everything I love is just in this anime, so I really grasped onto this when I was a kid. Literally any anime or show or cartoon that has like this sort of fantasy vibe of just dressing up and being pretty and having fun is just one of my favorites, especially part of romance too. Like, this show just had everything that I wanted as a kid, or just like this kind of princess vibe that everyone just has. Even the men are just super beautiful. It just has a big impact on how I draw and also how I color in these drawings. I put her in the Ouran Host Club uniform just because I felt like it. I wanted to put her in the suit too, but I think the dress suited her more. If I had to choose an anime to live in, I'd want to choose this one, but I would have to be rich, like super rich like them, so that I could have all those fun things that they do. Not gonna lie, I just want to experience a tea party, like with everyone dressed up, like all the girls dressed up really pretty. But I live in Arizona. That's not gonna happen unless I drop like $400 for the experience. I love shows that have really good power systems with magic, and so this show became one of my biggest obsessions. The owl was my favorite, and I don't know why, but I found him so relatable and just love people who talk a lot. And so, well, it's not a person, but it's an owl house, but it's still like, it just kept talking, and he was just really funny, and I wish people would hear him out, but I know that's just the butt of the joke. I feel like my character really fits into this world. It was really intimidating to draw in this art style, so I started to procrastinate a lot. This one sadly was the only one I was disappointed on, and it was because I feel like I didn't capture the vibe of Soul Eater. I was trying to base it off the manga mostly and the coloring too, but it just never seemed to work out for me. But I didn't give myself such a hard time, since this was my first time drawing in these art styles, and this was just supposed to be a fun challenge. This just made me want to draw in this art style even more, and I might just study this style because I really do love Soul Eater's way of drawing things. This was one of my first animes, and it was because I would watch all those AMVs on YouTube and I would just try to piece together what was the anime about. It was kind of hard, but like back in the day, it was like Funimation and Crunchyroll was the only place you could watch stuff with. I always had the fattest crush on Soul, and it was so embarrassing because I would just watch the anime just to watch him, and then I started liking the relationship Maka and Soul had, so then I stuck around for that. Then I stuck around for the plot, but it was just like, it was a domino effect of this anime. Drawing in this cartoon style made me realize that I kind of have the same head shape for my chibi drawings, and I never realized that, but now that I see that, I might start watching this show and studying it because I really enjoy that head shape. Not gonna lie, once I started drawing this, I just wanted to watch the show, so now I'm binge watching it, and it really sucks because I hate the ending, and I just pay no attention to the ending because it's just really shit. I feel like they did that so that the show could still have more episodes to come, but I just hate that because they just left everything scrambled. Also, I was always a big fan of Star and Tom. I'm not a fan of shipping Marco and Star, and as a kid, I would die on that hill. Now that I've drawn this OC 10 times, I've just been sick of the color pink, that really bright pink, so it might just be the end of me drawing in that color, just for a little while.